Aloha, fellow travelers. It's been about a month since I last updated, and sorry for that. So, this will be a longer video because there's a lot to catch up on. It's been kind of a wild month. The first 2 weeks I was riding with the boss, and then with another trainer for the other 2 weeks. All 4 weeks were started doing the Madison Run, which is Chicago, Illinois to Madison, Wisconsin, and then down to Vermilion, Ohio, and then back to Chicago all week. First week, on the way back to Kansas City from Chicago, we stopped at the I-80 truck stop, which is the world's largest truck stop with over 900 parking spots for trucks. I still want to get back there sometime on my own time to go through the Trucker Museum and have more fun at the stop because it's a really fun place. Second week was cut a little bit short because the boss had a hunting trip to get to on Friday, but there was still plenty of excitement. So I had my first steer tire blowout just outside of Kansas City as we were leaving for Chicago. I was on the highway just enjoying the ride when suddenly there was a huge boom and the truck lurched. Fortunately, I had two separate trainers, including the boss. It addressed that issue and what to do in the case that happens the weeks before. So I hit the fuel, got control of the truck, and then moved to the side of the road. We lost the steps on the passenger side of the truck, which meant only entering and exiting on the driver's side until it was fixed. Goodyear came out and fixed the tire, and a couple people from our company brought out a new side piece to repair that bit. After a few hours delay, we were back on the road. Now, before I move on from this, let me just say, if you ever see a truck on the side of the road with its hazards on, or any other vehicle for that matter, just move over. Several vehicles came very close to hitting me while we were trying to get the situation resolved. That wasn't the best weeks for this run, but as we got sent from Madison to Toledo, and Toledo Run has us run some trailers further east, then come back there and wait overnight before sending us on to Dallas. From Dallas, we had a brief stop in Arkansas and then back to Kansas City. Week 2, pow. Week 3 and 4 kind of blend together, so I'll just go at it all at once. I cooked up a week of meals and vacuum sealed them to take on the truck, make my own little microwave meals. I found that this works really well for me when I have time to do it. The meals are better tasting and generally healthier than what we get at the truck stop. I will say this before I go too much further. All the really fun stuff happened while I was asleep. So we got up to Chicago, then on to Madison, then down to Vermilion, and now this trainer, unlike the others I've done this run with, drives to Chicago and then drives up to Madison and has me drive to Vermilion, and then he drives back up to Chicago and back to Madison. He only has me do the Madison to Vermilion bit. So this is fairly helpful and makes the run actually pretty restful for both of us. It's about a 7.5 hour drive from Madison to Vermilion. So I put on my podcast and hit the road and stop every night at the same service center. Usually get to Vermilion between 7:30 and 8:20 in the morning. So I like the Vermilion truck stop as there's a Panera Bread in there and lots of birds in the parking lot. So I get to feed them. One day I popped out of the sleeper and I was sitting there looking at the windshield. I had some strange goo on it. It wasn't bug stuff, and I was thinking about asking what it was when my trainer informed me that we'd been shot at with paintballs. Given where we were, my suspicion is that it was an attempted ambush. Obscure the windshields so the truck has to pull over and then try to jack the load. Needless to say, we did not stop. On another occasion, again while I was sleeping, a turkey vulture hit the windshield and got stuck there for a while before finally sliding off on the side and hitting the side mirror. I would have liked to share the dash cam footage of that, but at this time I don't have it. So maybe if I can get it, I'll upload it sometime. We did end up staying over the weekend while we're in a hotel up there, so while we're up between the weeks. So while we were running errands Sunday, we noticed there were no vehicles on the other side of the road. Not a few, none. Finally, we come up to a truck that's pulled over on the shoulder and a huge police presence with the highway completely blocked off. Police had a tent set up with a person-sized tarp under it. Found out later that the guy had pulled his car over and stepped in front of the truck. I remember when I said to move over when you see a vehicle on the shoulder? This one was a suicide, and the truck was moving over when it happened. Now imagine you kill someone who's trying to change a blowout tire. There's just no excuse for that. Monday, I went to get a haircut from one of the girls that works at the Line Hall dispatch office, as she works at Sports Clips too, and we talked about that situation, how crazy it was. A few days later, she told us she'd seen more news on it, and there was more. The guy had murdered his wife in Chicago and then driven up to Madison and killed himself, and apparently had his girlfriend in the car when he did it. So we've been originally told that that was his wife. Now, right now, I'm back home getting ready to head out again, and got an idea or two for projects I would like to do. They're pretty big things, but right now I'm going to keep those under my hat unless and until something comes up. Well, that's it for me right now. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you down the road.